No, yeah, I don't know where he is. I think, he's joining me for the magician episode, so I don't think he should be too long. I'll give him like another 2 minutes or so. Like, maybe I'll just kind of like wait like that. Hello?
Hey!
Hello? You got a little something. You got a little...
What?
Something on your face?
A magic trick. Don't you like it?
No, something on your face. You got a little...
No, I think you're crazy. There's nothing there.
What time is it? It's the right time. The right time for the Roundup Honey, episode 4. This past weekend, we saw a magnificent, magical episode of Escape the Night Tragedy at the Theatre. In the 4th episode of the series, the 3rd guest lost their life. So I have a guest with me today, and me and him go back a long, long way. And I wish he would perform a magic trick. The disappearing act. It's Clover! Hello!
Hi! I was so happy to be here. Yes, it's true. We go way back. I would take it all back if I could.
So, how are you? How are you? Start with that. How are you?
I'm great. I just bought some Robux. I'm feeling fresh. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm knackered. Like, I'm really tired right now. But we're pushing it through because it's the Roundup. She has to come out. She has to be seen.
The Roundup Honey.
The Roundup Honey. So, you are the first Radiance owner to join me on the Roundup. So, have you been enjoying the series?
No, I love it. Like, wait, I was gonna say no, like I didn't. Okay, sorry, wait.
Right, I was about to beat you up. I was gonna kick you off for like nebula or something.
No, okay. I have really been enjoying this series because I think you are a great host and I've known that for a while now.
But no, thank you. No, I've literally enjoyed it so much. I think Shirley and Kimmy have been great. I've got a little guest lined up. Actually, next episode, I have...
Oh, okay. They are not.
I know.
Fun.
No, I think that one's gonna be good. Just because of the episode as well. Like, they have a relation to that episode.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. No, that one's gonna be good. And later on, we go episode, which God, the children, they're not ready for that.
That one's
the one. That one's the one I think they'll go for.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, I've got these guys lined up, and I mean, I couldn't even have the show if it wasn't for the main show. So let's get into episode 4. This episode starts with the aftermath of Kim's death. It was more in episode 3, but I mean, there's little bits over here, like they're still in the lounge. How did you feel when Kim died? Like, how do you think the impact will be in the season from her being killed?
I was definitely gutted. Kim is a really fun cast member to work with, and they're just a positive energy to be around. So seeing them go, especially so early, was definitely sad. But
I felt like it just wasn't. It didn't feel right. Like, I feel like she had a bit more in her. Was she gonna survive the whole thing? No, but I feel like from episode 1 and 2, like when she did the math down in the basement, I think there was more to go. But anyway, she wasn't in this episode, so why are we wasting our time? So this moment that we're about to talk about is my favorite moment so far. And we see a very vulnerable side to the artist formerly known as Jordan, who will now be going by Nick and using he, him pronouns for the rest of this season. So just so the fans know, Nick was very comfortable using Jordan before this, but that is no longer who he associates with. It's Nick. So this was a very, 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 like, I don't even know the word to describe it, like a very, like, fun moment in a way that it was just heartwarming, I felt. I think Valerie kind of giving the makeover just spoke to her character, and then even taking away like the characters for a sec, like Nick as a person, we didn't want to keep him in the season under a name that he doesn't associate with or under a gender that he's not going to go by online. And I think that so many Escape the Nights just kind of do the by the book Escape the Night things. Like, this has never been done before in an Escape the Night, period. This has never been done. And like, not to toot our own horns, but I'm glad we did it, because a lot of people online change their name, and especially in the queer community, you know, we do go between pronouns, the pronouns that we use online, and all these other things. So I think that Jordan, you know, being allowed to now go by Nick, and kind of leave Jordan behind and be the exact same person, but just in a slightly different outfit with a shorter haircut and using different like pronouns and stuff. I think that'll do so much for him as a person, like taking out the story and stuff. And I'm so happy we did it with him. I loved it. So this episode kind of begins with one of the guests finding a flyer and being told, you know, that the magic act is in town and that they need to go and explore that. So do you have any links with magic? This is a random question, but like any sort of like magic experience with you?
Actually, funny story. My brother used to be obsessed with magic when we were young. So he would always like gaslight me into thinking that he was like this magic being. Like he would always tell me, he would like time travel and he'd be like, okay, I'm CJ from the future. I'm here to tell you that you're gonna like die tomorrow. And I was like, I believed him and he like said he had all this magic and stuff. So yeah.
I just don't fuck with magic things, you know? I don't
Yeah.
trust them. The closest I had to magic was this really like shite like joke set of like things, and there was this most like unrealistic like shit ever. But like and we didn't even have a dog then, and it was meant to be like a dog shit, but I used to like, put it on the floor and be like, oh my god, like it's so much shit. And I swear to God, I used to like, trick my family and be like, did you do it too? I was like, someone shit on the floor. I was like, the dog shit. And I was like, no, we don't have a dog.
Yes,
Yeah.
I used to put water on it to make it look fresh.
Ew. So, the guys, they get their first task of the hour, and it's to kind of compete in a game show trivia style question, and it's about the life of like Phenomenal Frank. That was the name, yeah. Phenomenal Frank, and he is a like magician, and he has an assistant there. First of all, are you a game show person? Do you enjoy?
Oh, I love a game show.
Yes. Oh, there's very different game shows because like Britain and America, but yeah, we love a game show. And yes, second of all, it's about this guy's life. So I mean, no one really has the upper hand. So, Club, what did you think of this task, and who did you think would do good?
It was actually kind of a surprise because for a lot of people probably don't know, but as I've said, I'm a huge fan of game shows. So I'm actually the one who designed the game show task, and making it, I was kind of expecting like, Pablo to do very well because I know he enjoys like a trivia, but I don't know. I was really surprised. I know Ali got a good amount right, and that really surprised me because I've gotten like pretty close with Ali off the show, but she's never really crossed me for someone who like enjoys trivia.
At the end of this task, there is a tiebreaker between Pablo and Ali. They have to answer one more question, and that will decide who wins, and Pablo ends up being the winner.
Yes, Pablo was the winner. And as I've said before, going into it, I was like, oh yeah, I know the questions. Pablo likes to pay attention. Like, I know he's going to do well in this task. So I did expect it. Although, it was very interesting to see the tiebreaker. I didn't expect, like, everyone to get, like, that into it, which is what I love, because this cast is so competitive and so into it that they were just, like, fighting for that last one.
So they break down the first barrier, and I know that you had a big hand in this, like, next task design. So why don't you, explain what that was, recap us on that.
Okay, of course. So, for this next one, they essentially had to find a bunch of ingredients, and they were some pretty dramatic and weird things. For example, we had like 2 or 3 like bright just energy orbs, and then we also had a pair of bunny ears. So it was a lot of really weird, messed up magician things. So the magician could take them together, break down the second barrier, and make himself a new wand with the ingredients.
So Phenomenal Frank lets the guests know that they need to change their perspective in order to figure out the spell. I feel like a few people had something to prove going into this episode, like maybe said like Jack or Edgar. So do you think maybe the two of them like were helpful, or was there someone else who was like a standout and really like pushed through for you?
Actually, yes. I think Edgar had a breakthrough this episode. I do think this was his episode to spelling. Despite him being relatively quiet in the episode, I do think
he was very quiet.
I also do think we kind of have our reoccurring front runners, but
yeah, I definitely do think. I mean, Edgar was quiet, but I think he needed it after the god awful talent show, and episode 3, I mean, he was in a group with Jack and Jocelyn, and they kind of outshined him, so I think he needed a moment to shine. And if anything, this was in front of everyone. So I think Edgar doing well was very, very good. Also, you just brought up Frontrunners. Who would you say they are so far? Because I know I have a few. So who do you think are like those consistently good guests that we have right now?
Well, I think one that I can say off the top of my head is Jocelyn. I think she's constantly like at 110, and in this episode she found like 2 or 3 items, and she's kind of consistently doing well. Funny enough, I think Allie did a lot this episode, and I think these past 2 episodes leading up, Allie's been doing a good amount.
I mean, for me, one of the frontrunners you haven't mentioned is Mercy. I feel like Mercy is pulling their weight. I mean, episode 3 wasn't as strong for Mercy, but I still feel like Mercy is like consistently like good. With the exception of the talent show, I think Jack has been quite good. Like, I don't think he's been bad at really anything except being entertaining. And I mean, some people are just aren't gifted at being entertaining. I mean, you know, that's why I've got Chloe today. But but anyway, I just think, you know, some people just don't have that gift. But apart from that, he's been really good at all the time. I mean, what's the likelihood of another talent show popping? You know, but a lot more like finding and solving and like puzzles. There's going to be a lot more of them. So I think Jack is honestly doing okay. If in this hour, there's been similar people kind of killing it, which worries me a bit for the people at the bottom. Like, I think a lot of them maybe need to, you know, pick it up a little bit. Because when it comes time to voting, unless there's like, you know, some like massive fight or something, it's usually the weakest who go in. Was that foreshadowing? Was that foreshadowing, maybe?
I can find out.
Ooh. So this one seems like less tasks than usual, but the guests find out from the magician that they have to go and vote on 2, and they will be sent to the place where the magician died. And speaking of dying, we know what'll happen to the loser at this point. Like, we know. So I want to hear from you. If you were here, well, actually, no, before that, as a viewer, are you worried for anyone from this episode alone? Like, I know there was a lot of like other drama and stuff, but just purely from this episode, is there like 1 or 2 people who you would be a bit concerned for?
To start off, I think that though these 2 have done pretty well in previous episodes, in this episode alone, I am a bit worried for Nick and Jonathan, because I feel that sure they like participated in, but I don't know, I feel like it might be going a bit downwards.
So apart from the people who are maybe a little weaker this episode, I think there are some pretty big targets going into this round of voting. I think you know who they are too. I mean, we talked about it on stage when we were watching the episode. Why don't you name a few and explain why?
I feel that Allie and Flame are constantly digging themselves in a deeper hole by bickering.
I think, I don't know. I think Flame deserves it sometimes, but for the majority of the time, I would feel bad for Flame.
No, I definitely agree. I just feel that instead, because again, I do feel that it's mostly on Allie's side, but I feel that Flame kind of like, you know, coming back at Allie with like the same energy, rather than trying to put an end to it, is kind of digging him in a hole, which I don't exactly blame him, because if somebody's saying something to you and it kind of makes you upset, like obviously you're going to want to say it back.
I don't think Jack's being given the credit.
No, I agree. As we've said before, I don't think Jack has been given his flowers. Like, obviously focusing on this episode, but just a brief mention of the previous one. For example, I feel he did a lot in his group, even though Edgar kind of berated him a little bit. Like, I think he was doing well. And in this hour, I feel that he's pulled his weight, and even when he gets like berated by the other cast members, he still like is a team player, and he still tries to help. And I don't think he gets credit for that.
The votes are read by the icon Valerie, we love her. And she reveals that the 2 going into the challenge are Flame and Jocelyn. Now, my jaw hit the ground. Literally face crack. I was not ready for that at all. Who voted for it?
I was shocked. This might be like one of the most shocking moments so far in the season, which there'll be more. There'll be more.
Right. I think it's the most so far, definitely.
because nobody expected it. Like, you can't really hear anyone at all this episode saying that they want to vote Jocelyn. And then her name gets pulled. Gag.
I mean, it was a shock. I think if she went in, I mean, I think it would have been interesting to see Jocelyn versus Flame, because I have no idea how that would have ended. But I mean, we saw what actually happened, and it was someone else. So Ali decides to speak up and kind of attacks Flame and is like, I want to kill you myself. So now we have like a volunteer situation, like Katniss Everdeen in the Hunger Games. I know we both love the Hunger Games, so it was giving very that, you know.
My jaw dropped for a second time when she volunteered.
I don't think I was that shocked. I mean, it seemed like it'd been leading up to that. Like, I felt like they both, especially Ali, had it in her head that like if Flame was gonna get taken out, it would be by her. And I think Ali probably got a few votes, so she probably just expected to be pulled. I think both of them going in against each other was just a nice way to end the story, because obviously one will die and one won't. So I mean, I think we should get into the challenge. I mean, it was an interesting one.
It was.
So this challenge is taking place in the Mason Brothers warehouse. It was something like that. And they are having to do, and they are having to start with some math. Are you good at math? I forgot. You good at that?
No. No.
Well, I like to say I'm good at math, and I'm good at math.
Like,
right? Very that, no, literally, because if you give me the problem, you say you've got like an hour to work it out with a piece of paper, so I can do the grids and like the bus stop method, I'm good. But if you say like, what's 2 plus 5 is 7, like it takes me a minute, you know. Like, give me a question right now. Give me like a.
Okay, I'll give you a question, but we're gonna have to talk off camera. What is a bus stop method? Anyway.
You do the bus stop method? It's when you divide a number and you put the number on outside the bus stop. It's in the bus stop. The British ones will know what I'm on about. The British fans will know exactly what the bus stop method is. Comment down below if you know the bus stop method. Because I thought it was worldwide. Do you really not know it?
Is the bus still running?
Sorry.
So we aren't maths people, and apparently neither are Flame and Ali, because they are struggling with these fucking equations. They have to put the equations in and they make the word magenta, but it takes them like a good hour. I would love to have seen Nebula cutting down that footage. Probably took Nebula like an hour to cut that all down, because they took a long time. You're like, it's escaped the daytime now, because it took so long. But they move on to the next part, which is like a mental kind of part of the challenge, which is very similar to the Ungodly Machine in Escape the Night Season 1, and it's also very similar to something on our Radiance hosting map. So if you would like to, you know, partake in that challenge, be sure to join the server. A little promo, a little self-promo, join our hosting.
The puzzle they had to solve for the second one in order to fix the machine was so complicated. Like, I believe Jonathan or Indigo made that one. And
I made that.
I'll restart. So, something's telling me that it was actually Nebula.
Something's telling you.
So, Nebula designed this puzzle, and I have no idea what you're supposed to do for it. Like, while I was recording them, I was trying to figure it out, and I was lost.
Yeah.
And with the, like, magician...
The shouting and stuff, yeah.
Yes, and how... So, I am a theater kid, and I can put on my acting cap, but I know it would be so hard for me to not break character, because they were being so funny in that challenge, and it would have been so hard for me, so I would have been focusing on the challenge and focusing on trying not to laugh. Like,
very that. So the last section is to find a magenta book, and this is kind of where the neck and neck starts to diminish, because Ali is pulling ahead, and eventually Ali is crowned the winner of this death challenge. How do you feel about Ali being the one to come out on top in this rivalry?
I have to say, I was shocked. And honestly, I feel like if Flame won, I would have been shocked too. Because it's kind of like, wait, so like it's actually over now. And it kind of makes you think. And it's like, so Ali won, essentially. Like, not just the challenge, but kind of just like won their long-going argument. And it just kind of makes you think. It's like, well, wow. Because, I don't know, I feel like Ali was a big instigator in their fight. Which, not that it's a bad thing, like, you know, we love a little good TV now and then,
Well,
but...
great TV, great TV.
We love some good TV. But I think that as a viewer, it is very, like, gaggy.
I feel like you're holding back. So I'm going to say what I think you're trying to say and how I feel.
Go
I was not happy. I sound like such an Ali hater. That's not true. I love Ali. But as a viewer, it felt underwhelming. I wanted Flame to win. I think that Flame's character was more relatable. I think Flame was more helpful. I think Ali looked better because Ali has a better outfit. But that's like the one mark I can give her, because I feel like Flame got 10s all across the board in every other category. Like, I think that as a viewer, it felt a little bit lackluster. And it's like, oh. But I do think, you know, it has run its course. It's become dry. And I think that it's time to move on. It will just feel weird that Ali is there and not Flame. I don't know if she's going to try and pick a new person, or maybe the best thing she can do is maybe show like a more human-friendlier side to her. Because let's be real, everyone is stressed out at the beginning. Like, if you were in the situation as I would be too, you know, you'd be like frantic, like so, like your mind would be jumbled at the beginning. But as it goes along, your head would become clearer and you'd be focused on escaping. I think she needs to do that. So now that Ali is heading back to the lounge as the winner of the challenge, there seems to be quite a positive response to Ali coming back. I feel like a lot of it was just because there's no more of that like dumb drama. Some people, namely Jocelyn, are like very happy that Ali's back. I mean, obviously, she volunteered for it. Clove, who do you think will be the next two in, and who do you think will die?
I see Jack going in, and honestly, maybe Nick. If Nick continues to kind of like decline a bit, I wouldn't be surprised.
So, thank you, Clover, for joining me for another episode. This has been so fun. I literally love doing the roundup. Clove, where can they find you?
They can find me all of the things that are being put on the screen. All of those. Feel free.
Yeah, we'll put them on your face. Yeah, we'll put them there. Or you could even, if you really want to support Clove, you could support Radiance. Wow, 1/5 of the brand. But yes, I'm so happy that you guys are watching this series. Again, keep commenting who you want to see me have as a special guest in the future, and comment your opinions too, because this is kind of where we give our opinions, but I want to see yours too. So yes, much love to all of you, and we will see you next weekend. Bye.